Hi guys, in today's video we are going to be taking a look at the two new legendary upgrades for Rose and Scientist that are being added into the game over the coming months in Plants vs Zombies Battle for Neighborville. So all the footage in this video was captured by Germanshu, so please go and check out both their video and channel. I have put a link in the description. As usual, just before we begin, remember to hit those like and subscribe buttons if you enjoy the content on this channel and want to help it grow. Anyway, let's get started. First up, we're going to be talking about Rose and her legendary upgrade called Thorn Apart, which will be available in the prize map in the next festival called Springening, starting in a few days. So this new upgrade costs 5 upgrade points and works quite simply. When the upgrade is equipped, Rose will have a new meter on her hood, similar to the one you will see with Imp C-Mech, but it's split into 5 sections, and each time one of the sections fills, a pink orb will appear around Rose, and this can stack 5 times, so you can have a max of 5 orbs. To activate the ability, similar to Colonel Corn's shield, you just press the button that you would use to zoom in. If you then hit an enemy, you will do a ton of damage. Speaking of which, without the use of Jinx, each orb you have will do 25 points of damage, meaning you can do 125 points of damage when you have all 5. But if you have used Jinx on an enemy, it will do 31 points of damage per orb, meaning a maximum of 155 damage. So a fully charged Jinx Thorn Apart can instantly vanquish 9 of the 11 zombie characters if they have full base health. Now, as the upgrade description mentions, this ability not only recharges slowly over time, but it can also be recharged much faster through using abilities and or reviving teammates. So Jinx generates very little charge when active, but if you vanquish a Jinxed enemy, it fills up one section of the recharge meter. Arcane Enigma fills the meter when teammates are within the area of effect. Then we have reviving, so if you revive a player, it fills one section of the meter. However, the best way to fill the meter is by using Goatify. Each zombie that gets goated will fill one section of the meter, so one goat equals one section. Of course, this is based on if you manage to hit the zombies or not. Overall, I really like the idea, concept and mechanics of the Rose Apart legendary upgrade. I feel it really suits Rose's character, having magical orbs that float around her. Reminds me of Zenyatta from Overwatch. I also really like how this upgrade actually encourages you to play Rose better. In a sense, it makes you want to use your abilities to help and support your team more than perhaps you would otherwise, and by doing so you get rewarded with a powerful attack, and this is of course an incentive. So I actually think it improves on the gameplay of how Rose is supposed to be played. However, I do wish there was a downside to this upgrade, because at the moment I don't see any reason why you wouldn't want to use this ability, other than the fact it limits the amounts of perks you can have. I think what would have been cool is if the ability itself was tied to your normal primary weapon, rather than being a separate attack as you can see here. Instead, I think that if you want to save up for a 5-ball attack, you can do that, but it means during the time you are waiting for it to charge, you aren't going to be using your primary ability, as you will use up an orb as soon as it becomes available. So I think, like with Colonel Corn's upgrade where you have the disadvantage of losing fire rate and ammo capacity, I feel like this one should have a downside. I think it makes upgrade decisions more interesting that way. Finally, in terms of whether this ability is overpowered or not, at the moment I kind of feel the ability is a little too powerful. I think it just needs either a damage reduction or an increase in the time it takes to recharge the ability, or alternatively link it to your primary attack like I discussed earlier. So now let's move on to Scientist's legendary upgrade called Steam Blaster, which does exactly what it says. It changes Scientist's primary weapon into a Steam Blaster. This upgrade will be available in the Birthdays Festival coming in May. Unlike Rose, this ability is far less complicated, but the new primary weapon definitely gives Scientists some much needed firepower, maybe even too much firepower, or steam power shall we say. So basically what this does, instead of you firing purple goop at your enemies, you will now fire a stream of cloud into the air, which creates this sort of long thin cloud that if an enemy is hit by it or walks through it, they will take damage over time. And it is a considerable amount of damage. The weapon has a clip of 5 projectiles, and if a plant is hit directly with it and decides to try and take it like a champ, they will take 87 points of damage per shot. So Scientist has the potential to do 435 points of damage in one clip. Now, unlike Thorn Apart, there seems to be some disadvantages with this compared to Scientist's normal attack. First of all, you are no longer doing direct damage, and if the enemy moves out of the area affected by steam, they will stop taking damage. As well as this, the Steam Blaster has a much shorter range than the Goo Blaster. But despite these minor disadvantages, again, I feel this upgrade is going to be a no-brainer for most players. Also, for those of you who are wondering what the Steam is all about, well, it's because this ability has been designed to pair with the Steampunk Scientist costume that will also be making its way into the game in the Birthdays Festival. Overall, I think that my favourite ability out of these is probably Thorn Apart, only because I think it's more creative, looks awesome, and I love that it encourages the player to actually play Rose as a support character, not an attacking player that can just run away when on low health. However, with both of these abilities, I think balancing is going to be needed because at the moment they seem very powerful. Anyway guys, that's about it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts on these upgrades in the comments below. But other than that, remember to subscribe and I shall see you in the next one. Okay, thanks guys. Bye.